What's a stupid law where you live? If a motorcycle crashes into a car, no matter what, it is the car's fault and the owner goes to jail for, I think, 2 days. There is a story when someone was literally sleeping and at 2 AM a motorcycle crashed into his parked car. He went to jail. My hometown has an archaic law on the books. I think they leave it there now because it's too funny to remove, which states that it's illegal to carry a bathing tub across the town green while armed with musket or sword on Sunday. You gotta wonder what event prompted the creation of that law. Probably some guy was carrying his bathing tub across the town green on a Sunday with a musket or sword. You can't shoot someone's buffalo from a second-story hotel window. Me. Shoot someone's buffalo from a third-story hotel window. He loophole. If you find a real-life buffalo, let me know. You can't take pictures of rabbits from January to April. I don't understand why BC they are so cute. I just do it anyway. Now that's what I call a hardcore criminal. In Florida, of course Florida, if you were to park an elephant at a parking meter, you would have to pay it as if it were an automobile. I'm guessing there was a drunk circus worker involved in all this somehow. They changed this one last year. It was illegal for liquor stores to be open on Sunday. Children cannot trick or treat on Halloween. Later, having added if you are over 13, you will be fined and jailed. Keyword in this law is on Halloween. Any other night of the year it is not a state crime. It is illegal to hunt on a Sunday unless it's a raccoon till 2 AM. In Stanford, domestic abuse is legal as long as the husband beats her on the steps of a courthouse before 8 PM. Having sex with the lights on, having anal or oral is against the law. Just a few. Virginia is not for the lovers, it's for the prudes. You're understating our prudishness, I think. Literally any kind of sex other than missionary position PIV with the lights off between a man and a woman who are married to each other is technically illegal here, if I remember correctly. If you attempt murder you don't go to jail. Only if you murder someone you go to jail. Yeah, there are some stories of husbands just beating up their wives and not killing them. It's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. A pregnant woman can legally relieve herself anywhere she wants, including in a policeman's helmet. In York, it is legal to murder a Scotsman within the ancient city walls, but only if he is carrying a bow and arrow. Mince pies cannot be eaten on Christmas Day. Nice to know Great Britain has stupid laws too. One of the principal streets in town becomes one way on Sundays because there are several churches on it and the town wants to make a convenient traffic flow pattern for churchgoers. It means that other drivers have to go far out of their way because of Sunday's one-way restriction, even though few people attend services and it's a wide street that can easily accommodate two-way traffic. There was one church where I was growing up that would block a lane on a very busy street to allow church traffic to enter and exit the church easier. They had a stoplight at Anatha entrance. It backed up traffic for a half mile or so every Sunday. Bringing more than 2 packets of gum, selling gum in my country is illegal, and also this other weird one, annoying someone with a musical instrument. Singapore 100. OP here. In my state of Alabama, it is illegal, and even punishable by death, to put salt on railroad tracks. This law was put in place back in the early 20th century. Train robbers would put salt on railroad tracks to attract large groups of animals such as deer and cattle, which need sodium to survive, onto the tracks to lick the salt off the tracks. The large herds would make the trains have to stop, making them easy targets for the robbers. It's also illegal in Birmingham, Alabama, to drive with a blindfold on, but that's just because people in my state are idiots. This one makes sense, especially if it attracts wildlife. Pretty sure there's a law that states ducks have the right of way at one intersection in my city, right next to the duck pond. Coincidentally, I've never seen a duck on the outside of the fence around said duck pond. And now I know where you live, because I live there. The law was in place because there didn't used to be a fence and there was another pond on the opposite side of the road that they would walk to. The part that was fun when I was a kid was that there used to be duck footprints painted on the road where they most commonly crossed. 3 of my favorite stupid laws in Tennessee are: 1. Interracial marriage is still technically illegal here. 2. It is illegal to throw glass bottles at a tree for malicious reasons. 3. It is legal to transverse the wrong way on a one-way street if it is after dark, and you affix to the front of the vehicle a lit lamp. Stupid California laws. You are not permitted to wear cowboy boots unless you already own at least 2 cows. Blythe, CA. Women may not wear high heels while in the city limits. Carmel, CA. It is illegal to curse on a mini golf course. Long Beach, CA. It is illegal for a man to beat his wife with a strap wider than 2 inches without her consent. Los Angeles, CA. It is a crime for dogs to mate within 500 yards of a church. Breaking this law is punishable by a fine of $500 and or 6 months in prison. Los Angeles, CA. You cannot bathe 2 babies in the same tub at the same time. Los Angeles, CA. It is illegal to cry on the witness stand. Los Angeles, CA. You may not hunt moths under a street light. Los Angeles, CA. Molesting butterflies can result in a $500 fine. Pacific Grove, CA. It is illegal for a secretary to be alone in a room with her boss. Pasadena, CA. Motor vehicles may not drive on city streets unless a man with a lantern is walking ahead of it. Redlands, CA. Persons classified as ugly may not walk down any street. San Francisco, CA. It is illegal to wipe one's car with used underwear. San Francisco, CA. Persons classified as ugly may not walk down any street. San Francisco, CA. Well, frick me. In Houston right now at the airport, they can start serving alcohol on Sundays at 10 AM, but you have to have food in front of you first. Only when the food is served to you and in front of you can they serve you an alcoholic drink. Me and the others at the bar were just ordering a side of fries and then our drinks. At least they had a promotion for a half-price shot for every beer you ordered. The town I live in for university has some kind of brothel law that makes it illegal for more than 3 people with different last names to live in the same house. The idea behind the law is obviously outdated, so now code enforcement uses it to evict college students who throw parties too often, etc. Ontario, Canada. Alcohol can only be sold in a handful of government-operated stores that close by 9-10 PM Monday to Saturday and by 6 PM on Sunday. The new legalized cannabis market works similarly and the black market is still thriving as a result. Black market is doing better than it was arguably. It's socially acceptable now but there's no easy way to get it so it's fueling the black market. You can't actively view objectionable material or else you could go to jail. Literally everyone who saw the Christchurch video could be in trouble for actively seeking news at a time when the news agents were too slow. Who decides what's objectionable? Is the truth objectionable? What if your family members were victims? Do you not have a right to know of their well-being? Whaling is illegal in Ohio. The origin of this law was because it was believed that a species of whale existed in Lake Erie. Even after this myth was put to rest, the law was never repealed and is probably one of the strangest state laws in the country. Only on Sunday, sir. The other 6 days a week I'm still out there trying. Spain here. If you record the police doing something illegal, as beating the crap out of someone, you are the criminal and can face fines up to 600k euros, like 2 or 3 times what costs a familiar home in a city. Was a nice way to end with disgusting YouTube videos of police officers beating people. Probably that exists so that they can keep beating up Basques and Catalonians with impunity. You can't drink in a movie theater if the seating capacity is more than a certain number, so you can drink at an Alamo Drafthouse but not at an AMC. This was a law that only got passed because some evangelicals got hung up over after a teenager accidentally got served a beer at a theater. Yes, an honest mistake led to a draconian law, all because some people want to control everyone's lives. Anyone in Texas who was adopted in a closed adoption has to go through a lot of legal red tape to get their original birth certificate, the one drafted and signed at their birth with no redactions, even if they are an adult, even if they want to know for medical reasons, genetic history or getting a passport. Difficult to establish citizenship by birth without knowing who they were born to or where. There have been 4 tries in Texas state legislature to change this process and make it much easier after the adopted child turns 18. All 4 failed, mostly due to one state senator in particular who has an adopted daughter and doesn't want her finding out about her birth parents. This despite all versions granting the birth parents the right to opt out of providing contact information, and they only have a 5-month window to push for the law when the legislature meets every other year. This state senator who has killed it every time won re-election last year, so she got to hang around this year and gets 2021 and 2023. You can't milk another person's cow. You can't shoot someone's buffalo from a 2nd-story hotel window. And criminals have to give a full description of the crime 24 hours prior to the crime. My favorite law is homosexual behavior is a misdemeanor offense. Me being LGBT. I dunno man. Sounds pretty gay to me. Distant police sirens. The fact that in New Jersey, USA, if you want to move out of state you have to pay what's called an exit tax, which means you must pay a portion of the sale price of your house to the government for you to leave. Here in Germany we've got some good, some strange and some stupid ones, like blind persons is only allowed to park their car for 3 hours in the same place even though they aren't allowed to drive. The next two aren't that stupid, I even like them. First, are you from the age of 16 allowed to buy and drink beer and wine and other low percentage alcoholics, and when you're 18 you can drink everything? And second, we've got a law that establishes that a real German beer has only 4 ingredients, which are water, hop, yeast and barley malt. You can brew a beer with other ingredients, but first it won't taste that good, and second you can't call it a German beer. Also, on Good Friday, it's verboten to dance, have parties, or broadcast funny movies. In order to purchase a handgun in NY, I live in Niagara Falls, you must complete a handgun safety course, at which point, you can apply for a license to buy a handgun. The class is about 3-4 hours in a chair learning about guns. You don't get to handle one. You don't get to fire one. Nothing. The state of New York believes that you must have a permit to have a gun, but you don't have to know how to use one. Laughs in Texan. All you need here is to pass a background check and provide valid. I think this is only a law in PA, but if you're out drinking at a restaurant for example, you can't drink with someone under 21 at the table if there is no one over 25 at the table. In Ontario it is illegal to drive a horse-pulled sleigh on a highway without at least 2 bells attached to the horses. There is actually a lot of really odd laws regarding horses in Canadian laws. Women can't walk around topless in my county except in this one specific square in this one specific town, and even then it's only sometimes. I live in Russia and I have law that not allow you to talk bad about government. No jokes, no memes, or you are fricked. This is probably going to get buried, but here are a few. In South Africa, 1. It is illegal for you to purchase a TV without acquiring a license beforehand. According to Wikipedia, the license fee in South Africa is R265, about €23 per annum, R312 per year if paid on a monthly basis. For TV, the license fee partially funds the public broadcaster, the South African Broadcasting Corporation. 2. During the apartheid days, black people had to be indoors by 9 p.m. 3. Herders have the right of way, meaning if there are animals about to cross the road, you have to wait for them to pass before you can go. 4. You can't take in a public display of affection if you're under 16. 5. In some parts of SAR, if a woman wants a bank loan, the bank must first get permission from her husband. Athens, Georgia, USA. Owners of mules may not allow their animal to roam around Athens unsupervised. Full text of the law. Sec. 415. Livestock running at large. It shall be unlawful for the owner or keeper of any hog, cattle, mule, sheep, goat, fowl or any other livestock or non-traditional livestock animal to permit it to run at large in the limits of Athens, Clark County, or to stray from the property of the owner or keeper, or to go upon the premises of any other person. Ord. of 12198, R1. It is illegal to haul a bale of hay into town. It was enacted during the alcohol prohibition because people hid moonshine and other booze in bales of hay. We have the blow law, absolutely outdated Puritan stupidity that makes no sense and becomes a pain when you actually need something on a Sunday. In PA, you can only buy up to an 18-pack of beer in a supermarket. If you want 2 12-packs, you have to make 2 trips. SMH. Beer stored are different. Not sure how true it is, but I've heard that in Royal Oak it is, or was, illegal to chew gum while on the sidewalk. Also that is illegal to walk backward on the sidewalk. If an intruder enters your house you can't hold him there while you are calling the police because it's kidnapping and you can end in jail. Not parking in your driveway. It's only enforced when the city wants to collect money, aka once or twice a year. The way houses work here is that you have the driveway, the sidewalk and whatever you have as a garage in your house. Since the whole sidewalk things here tend to be gigantic, there's no issue with parking in the driveway, as you're not obstructing the sidewalk per se. The thing is that the city council decided all these cars were legally blocking the sidewalk and that pedestrian couldn't walk through them. Note I said legally, because their reasoning is utter BS. Most driveways can have a whole SUV without even touching the sidewalk. Of course some sidewalk and driveways do have this issue, but it's a minority of them, which could benefit from this ordinance, but since they're not in the downtown and surrounding areas where most cars will park aka where most fines will be issued, no one ever checks those sidewalks are not obstructed. North Carolina has some fun ones. So first, the one I despise the most is that sexual consent cannot be revoked once the act has started, even if the agreed upon parameters have changed. So no changing your mind once you start. I've had a lot less sex since I moved here. Some funny ones. 1. Elephants may not be used to plow cotton fields. 2. Persons in possession of illegal substances must pay taxes on them. 3. Organizations may not hold their meetings while the members present are in costume. 4. Bingo games may not last over 5 hours unless it is held at a fair. 5. Fights between cats and dogs are prohibited. 6. In Charlotte, women must have their bodies covered by at least 16 yards of cloth at all times. Last time I was there this definitely does not happen. It would surprise me if some people were even wearing one. You aren't a legal adult until you are 19 in my state, so after high school graduation you just have a null year where you legally can't rent an apartment, go to some doctor's appointments, go to strip clubs, etc. without accompaniment and or co-signing of a legal guardian. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.